Please welcome Al Casino 324197 to the stage.
Here it comes. And Marcia. And Maria, I see.
Joining a recent discovery, one of which I would invest.